Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about Montez Sweat and what expectations for him are in the 2022 NFL season, and why I think he needs to have a big year for the Washington Commanders defense to be where they want to be. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content on the road to 8,000 subscribers. So please help me get there. Also hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Now let's get right into it. So as you guys know, the Washington Commanders drafted Montez Sweat in the first round of the 2019 NFL draft, and he was really solid in his rookie year. Started off a little bit slow, but finished off the season really strong, and then had a great second season, with Chase Young there as well, in Chase Young's rookie year. And then last year had a little bit of a down year, but I don't think it was as bad as some people think, but we're going to kind of break that down. He's still super young, 25 years old, 6'6", 260 pounds. We know what kind of athletic freak he is. 4.4 40-yard dash at the combine. So real quick, let's kind of look at some of his stats. So 2019 had 7 sacks in 16 games. The next year had 9 sacks and an interception and a touchdown. Should have been 10 sacks, but Cole Holcomb in the last game of the season got called for a pass interference on it. It really didn't affect the play at all, and Montez Sweat got a sack on that play. So really unfortunate there for Montez Sweat. And then in 2021, he played 10 games and had 5 total sacks. And then let's see, I'm trying to see the forced fumbles. I guess it doesn't show there, but it's unfortunate what happened, last year with Montez Sweat, because, he had the broken jaw, which sidelined him for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks, which, that's a tough injury to have. And then he had the virus, which I think he missed one game for, at least one game, not completely sure. And then unfortunately at the end of the season, his brother passed away. Really unfortunate situation there, which caused him to miss a couple games. So really kind of he missed a lot of different games and was in and out of the lineup, which really can mess with you. And, still had 5 sacks. So he averaged half a sack a game in those 10 games. So it wasn't like he, was super unproductive in those games, and had 3 forced fumbles. So let's say he played those 17 games, he was on pace for 8.5 sacks on the season, which isn't amazing, but it's still solid and on pace for 5 forced fumbles, maybe a little bit more. He still was solid last year. He just wasn't in the lineup, consistently, which, is unfortunate. So hopefully this year he can stay healthy like he was the first 2 years of his career, and I'm hoping he has the first double-digit sack season of his career, even though he should have had one in 2020. And I think honestly he has a solid chance to do so if he is able to stay healthy, because he is playing on a great defensive line, hopefully on paper at least, with Chase Young. We'll see when he's back. I don't know. It's really iffy if he's going to be back week 1 or he's going to be on IR, even the PUP list. But once Chase Young comes back, he's going to have him, Daron Payne in the middle, Jonathan Allen also, Phidarian Mathis as the kind of backup / rotational defensive tackle, and then you also have Montez Sweat himself on that line. So it's going to be hard for the offensive line to block them if they're healthy. But, we even said that last year, the first kind of half of the season, and they weren't as dominant as we hoped. And I think the defensive line got a little bit too much blame for the first half of the year, or first kind of 4 or 5 games, because, yeah, they should have gotten more pressure than they did. But, it's hard to get pressure when, get a ton of pressure when the secondary is just playing terrible in coverage, where there's a guy wide open right away and the quarterback can just throw it up, really not care about the pressure, and he knows his receiver is going to come down with it because no one is on him. So, but yeah, this for sure is a big year for Montez Sweat, because I'm pretty sure, they picked up the 5th-year option on him, so this will be his 4th year. So he's still going to be under contract for another year after this year, but already he's eligible for an extension. So if they wanted to, they could get an extension done. And if they want Montez Sweat, if they think he's a part of the future, I think personally they should extend him now before his value goes up a ton. And maybe they're trying, but Montez Sweat and his agent are like, hey, why am I going to do an extension now when I just came off, not amazing season production-wise? And, if I have a big year this year, I can cash in more and I still have another year under contract. I think that's probably the case. They might want to extend him, but I would try to do so as soon as possible because his, value is going to continue to go up and up and up. And I don't know. I think, he's going to have a solid year for sure, and definitely a big year for him because he had rookie year. He had a solid year, especially for a rookie. 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. And the next year has an even better year. Not only more sacks, but you could just tell he was, much more of a presence. He was getting more pressures. Like I remember one time he got, he was about to get a sack on Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield just threw it away and got an intentional grounding. Like that should count. I know it's not a sack, but it basically was a sack. They lost 10 yards on the play, and it was a loss of downs. So, stuff like that, you could tell he was a different animal in 2020 and 2021, again, in and out of the lineup, and wasn't as good when he was in the lineup as he was in 2020, but was still a very solid player. And I think him and Chase Young are both kind of humbled from what they were saying in the offseason last year, where they're like, we're gonna try to break the, sack record for, duo sack record or whatever, and they didn't even come close. So I think that really humbled them, and Montez Sweat even said so in a press conference earlier in the season. So honestly, expectations for Montez Sweat, what would be a successful season? I think if he can get 8+ sacks and play solid in the run game, stay healthy for the entire year, and cause a couple turnovers, I think that is a successful season for him, and I think that's what he should. I think those are his expectations around that. But my predictions, I'm going to say I'm going to go 9 sacks. You know what? I'll be optimistic. I'll go 10 sacks for Montez Sweat, a couple forced fumbles, and yeah, those are kind of my predictions for him. I think he will have a big year, especially, Chase Young's not going to be fully healthy for a while. Even if he starts the season on the 53, not on IR or anything, he's starting to play games right away, he's not going to be 100%. Even if his, recovery in terms of coming back and playing is 100%, it still takes a while for him to get used to the knee and stuff. Totally different positions. But you look at Joe Burrow last year, was was okay the first half of the year and was amazing going on from that. In the second half of the year in the playoffs, got better and better and better as he got more comfortable with his knees. So that definitely is going to be the case with Chase Young, especially with the position that relies a lot more on explosiveness. It might take him a little longer to recover for sure. So hopefully everything's going well with Chase Young, because obviously Montez Sweat will benefit from Chase Young being there, not only being there but being totally healthy. So definitely something to keep in mind. And in terms of the contract, this is what Ron Rivera said today. During the Terry McLaurin press conference, he reiterated that Washington isn't done getting contract extensions with current players. Says some of those deals might be next offseason, but there is a 3-year plan in place. Rivera says getting the McLaurin deal done was a huge step. So you got guys like Daron Payne, Cole Holcomb, Montez Sweat, all those guys I believe are eligible for extensions right now. All those guys were the 2019 class, or before with Daron Payne. And then after this season, you can try to get deals done with the 2020 class, like Chase Young if you really want to. Let's see, Cam Curl, guys like that for sure. Antonio Gibson if you want to. So there's a lot of guys that are coming up for extensions, and I always say try to get the deals done as soon as possible if you feel confident about how this guy's going to be in the future, because the longer you wait, not only is the salary cap going to go up, but the potential for this guy to break out or have an even better year is going to go up. If Washington didn't pay Jonathan Allen last offseason, he would have probably gotten $3+ million more per year based off of the kind of season he had. So, it was smart paying him early. And it doesn't always work out like that, but for the most part, if you feel very confident about, this guy being, being really good for the next few years, just pay him. If you, overpay him for, a couple million this year, it shouldn't be that much of a, big deal in, 2, 3, 4 years when the salary cap goes up and, guys continue to reset the market. So that's just my thoughts on the contract. And real quick, I have a clip. I know people always like to see some visuals during the videos, so just a clip from Montez Sweat this offseason doing some workouts right there. Nothing major, but he's looking to have a big season. He wants it contract wise. I think it's gonna, if Montez Sweat and Chase Young end up being what Washington expect them to be, or even Montez Sweat is what like he was in 2020, it's going to be pretty expensive for to keep Montez Sweat and Chase Young. It's going to be very hard. Like, if Chase Young is what we thought he would be, like a kind of Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa type, like those guys, I think Joey Bosa is getting paid like $28 million, and that was like a couple years ago. That's when the contract got signed. So in like a couple years, it could be more for Chase Young, if he produces. And Montez Sweat isn't going to be that same caliber of money, but he's still going to be, like, if he has a couple seasons like he did in 2020, like a couple double-digit sack seasons, it'll probably be in that $20 million plus range, which is a lot of money. And the cap's going to go up, but it's still going to be hard to keep him, Chase Young, and then you're already keeping, Jonathan Allen for like, $18 million, I believe, and it's going to go up and up, just how the contract is structured. So it's going to be hard to keep all those guys, and, maybe even Daron Payne if they want to bring him back too. So let me know what you guys think, how they're going to handle that situation, and who do you think they should keep. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.